Hello, everybody. Yes, you got that right. I was faking it back there. Anyways, welcome to my channel. I thought I would start off with a quick presentation, an introduction of who I am, why I wanted to do this channel, why this channel will be different than most painting channels. I also was going to talk about my studio, where it's located, talk also about my paintings and what we will be doing in the next following days and weeks. So, my name is Pierre Davis Dutrex. I'm half French, half American. I've been painting for over 40 years. I lived in New York City and in the beautiful state of Vermont. I've also lived many years in Paris, where I grew up with my folks. And besides painting, I also do film editing. I basically, every painting that I do, I make a movie, a short film of the making of that particular painting. It can go between 4 and 12 minutes. And when I was living in Vermont, I was a carpenter. I was also a DJ for many years on Vermont Public Radio and WKXE in White River Junction. And now I've been dedicating basically my time to painting. So I'm extremely thrilled and excited about this channel. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while now, but we didn't have the internet in our studio, so I never really had the opportunity. We got that problem solved. And then now I think one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this channel is because I love learning stuff. I love learning, may it be astrophysics, may it be programs for the to create internets, websites, whatever. I remember when I was like 18 and 19 years old, I had several of my friends I noticed that had lost already their hunger to learn. They lost their curiosity of how the world functioned. And I realized that they were already old farts. Here you are, 18, 19 years old, and you're already an old man. And I swore to myself I would never do that. So, anyways, uh, I also think that doing this channel is just one more motivation for me to come into the studio and paint. I'm sure you realize that no matter what job you do, after 40 years of doing the same thing, it gets pretty friggin' boring. So, doing this channel and having you join me on a daily basis for an hour or whatever of a stream, and hopefully we'll enjoy our time together. I know that this channel will be very different than most other channels, like the ones like Bob Ross used to do on national TV. But it's going to be very different for the simple reason that this is going to be a very personal channel. It's going to be very candid. I mean, as you know, the act of painting is a very slow process. Only when you look at videos on YouTube, you realize like these paintings are done with a time lapse, and like for example, my movies that I do of my paintings, these movies last between 4 and 12 minutes, as I mentioned before, but yet they took several weeks to do the actual painting. And that is the great benefit and the greatest pleasure of painting is that time that it takes to paint is where your mind can wander into these marvelous places. It's the meditation that comes with the act of painting that is so wonderful. So, and even though I think it's nice to have followers and people like this channel and whatnot, it's not going to be the priority. I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I'm not running after the carrot anymore. And I have absolutely nothing to sell. So this is just going to be more or less of a painting channel where hopefully we'll be able to talk about many things like art, the materials you use. We'll talk about the art market. We'll talk about Zen and art schools, oils versus acrylics. We'll talk about the different types of art, the history of art, the great artists of the past, my influences, your influences, hopefully. And because I want to know also what turns you on. And I thought this would be a great place to have that kind of interaction. So, that said, My studio is located in Nice, France. This is where I live. And just to give you an idea, I did make a little map here. So you can check out this map where you see where Nice is located, right where that little dot is down on the southern coast on the Mediterranean. There's a little better view where you can see actually the entire coast with starting off with Marseille, and then you have Nice, which is right next to Monaco. And if you continue on the coast, you get to Genova, where you can take the ferry to go either to Sicily, to Corsica, where you can see on the map the northern point of the island of Corsica and the city of Bastia. And then if you come back on the map and you look at where Monaco is, you can see this dotted purple line going north, and that is the border between France and Italy. And further up on the map, you can see the city of Torino, and that's where it's famous for making the Fiat cars. Fiat, you know, the initials for Fabbricazione Italiano Automobile di Torino. Fabrication, Italian automobile, Turin, Fiat. Anyways, I my studio is in the old part of Nice, this wonderful area which is uh, was built, I guess, in the Middle Ages, even though it dates all the way back to the Roman Empire. But um, you can see on the north side of the map this green alleyway. So that's a border where you kids can go, or you can have picnics, a little bit of greenery in the city, and then to the right of the old town, you can see this larger patch of green, which is La Colline du Château. It's actually a hill, and it's called the Hill of the Cat with the castle. Except the castle has been destroyed for, I don't know, a century, maybe more. I'm not absolutely sure, but it has a great view of the beachhead and of the old part of town. And here is a little slideshow of the old part of town where you can see the Bay of Angels, La Baie des Anges, and the buildings that kind of make up the old part of Nice, which is a huge tourist attraction because it's so quaint, and you can see these little narrow streets and the color of these buildings and the color of these buildings is kind of like the main reason why many of these artists from Renoir to Matisse came down and lived in this area, because when you come to like the sunset, maybe in the summer or in the winter, you have just this incredibly beautiful orangey light, and that's kind of for the entire coast. If you think of like of Gauguin and Van Gogh that used to come um, to Nice. They came to Arles, which in this map you can see again. It's just a little bit left of Marseille. But by coming there, they discovered this incredible light that I'm fortunate myself to have discovered as well. Just so uh, beautiful. So, anyways, my studio is located in this old part of Nice called the Vieux Nice, the old Nice, and I'm part of a building called the Pigeonnier, and it means the pigeon coop because this building has been empty for over 20 years, I would guess. And when we invested and came into it to open up our studios, there was at least an inch of chicken, of pigeon shit all over on all the floors. So it was a major cleanup job we had to do. So we kept the name of Pigeon Coop for these people, for these for the artists that are in this building. So here's a slideshow of some of the events we've had because on the first floor we have this gallery space. We have one big room, one small room that we use as galleries, which we can invite artists from the outside to come and participate and show their work. We have concerts there, we have slideshows, movie projections there, poetry readings, slam readings. Anyways, a lot of things going on there. And then above that, we basically have 5 flights of studio space. So sometimes there are 2 studios per flight, sometimes there are 3. And we have several. I mean, most of everybody here are artists, but they are all working in different styles. We'll have, for example, Jalil. He repairs and fixes and creates African instruments like djembes or balafons or koras. And then we'll have Stephanie. She does crochet, does the human body, parts of the human body's constructions just using crochet. And then we have Jeanne on the top floor. She does jewelry work. And then we have several other painters as well, including myself. So we have all these different um, happenings and studios here, which makes it a very lively place. Now, the other thing I'm going to mention very quickly, and we'll get back into this in a future date, is that the Pigeonnier in this building is part of a French underground movement called squart. Now, it's a horrible name. I hate it, but it's a mixture of 2 words, squat and art. And the squart movement is been in existence since the early mid 80s. And the reason why that movement came to exist is because of the very high prices for renting studio spaces. So for painters, it isn't all that important because you can always paint out of your living room. I've done it for many years, but you are restricted by the size of your paintings, of course. But let's say you're a musician or a dancer, or you want to have a theater troupe. What do you do in that case? So, especially when you're starting and you're young and you have a young troupe, very difficult to have to rent a place. So, what do? We invest buildings that are either going to be sold or torn down, and we reinvest these buildings and give them a second life, and we turn them into studios. So the life of these new studios can be very short, like 6 to a year, where you can get evicted, or they can be like the Pigeonnier. We've been here like over 15 years. So it all a question of luck as well. So, anyways, we'll talk about that much later in some future date. I'll get more involved and give the history of squarts and maybe even give you hints and tell you how to open up your own squart. I've been at least in I don't know, top of my head, 6 or 7, maybe even 8 of them in the last 25 years. I'm one of the leaders of this movement, and I've even had a squat in Harlem when I in New York in the year 2000. But anyways, what we will do in the next following weeks is basically why I come to the studio, and it's to paint. It's my first and my main concern, my love, and I'm going to show you maybe now a few examples of some of my paintings, so you have an idea of what I do. So here's a variety of my paintings. I'm considered myself a symbolist. My paintings are usually like little koans, set koans, that tell a little story that could seem at first kind of childish, but when you get the deeper meaning behind it, can be an eye awakening moment. So a lot of people have branded my paintings because of these masks that all my people have. I consider them, these masks, as they transcend and they represent Mr. Everybody, Mr. Everyone. There's no more gender, no race, no religion. So my paintings can touch just about everybody. I have traveled quite a bit in my life. I've been to over, I think, 32 countries. I've been around the world twice. I mean, I lived in South America for many years. So I don't really paint for a special little elite in my city. I paint really for a broad spectrum of people. So many people, especially since the COVID came out, a lot of people have said that I'm a visionary in my artwork because it's been like 30 years I've been warning people about the ecology and to be careful and take care of our beautiful planet. We only have one, and let's not blow it. Of course, nobody listened, right? So a lot of people call my paintings ecological. Some say it's political. Others say it's spiritual because I do paint mandalas as well sometimes. Some people say it's mystical, psychedelic. So whatever. So these are basically to give you an example of my paintings. So basically, what I'm going to be continuing on my main painting, which you can see behind me. It's of a dancer, the Apsara type dancer from Cambodia, and I've been just into this little I don't know, doing a little series of dancers, which you can see right here. This is what I call my cosmic dancer on top of the world. Painting I did at the beginning of the year, and then I've have this one that was in my slideshow a few minutes ago, and then I have let me see, here we go. Let me get me another one. Of course, I'm not all that used to the technique of what I'm doing here, but this is my latest one. This dancer based, I guess, on a classical dancer. So anyway, I would like to continue because the last 2 weeks, I must admit, I stopped painting because I wanted to learn this program that I'm using to able to stream. Of course, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and just took me a few weeks, and now I'm just like desperate to get back to painting, and I hope you'll join me on this. I know this channel will get better. It's not going to be very obvious because already when I paint, I kind of take a break because, as you can see, I have my little camera back there. I have two of them in the studio actually, and I bounce back between both cameras as I'm painting so that eventually when the painting is finished, I can edit all these bits and pieces and come out with the making of the painting. So now I'm not only going to be painting and doing my filming for my movies, now I'm going to have to add a third aspect to all this, which is the streaming part. So I had to borrow my son's headset because it has a microphone that works fairly well. But I ordered another microphone. I also ordered um, some materials so I can hook up my HD cameras to the computer. So hopefully those will arrive pretty soon. I ordered a switcher. I'm waiting for that to arrive. So, anyways, so hopefully the quality of the stream will get better as we go along. So, this is basically the conclusion of my introduction to my studio and to myself. I hope you will join me tomorrow. I'm going to be starting again to stream around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to leave you with my schedule. And thanks for watching. And hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, my friends.